In the weeks and months after the move, when you've picked up everything and brought it along to your new home, carrying it like a snail on your back, it might be tempting to whack all the plants in really quickly and get everything growing. But I'd give a word of caution really. You need to keep those plants growing along in their pots, keep them heeled in for as long as possible, and really assess what's going on in your new garden, because you won't have seen it in all the different seasons through the course of the year. And whilst you might want to get on within a couple of months or so and plant the main feature shrubs in their final positions around the garden, to be honest, discretion is the better part of valour. It's better to hold back and see how things go. Do the clearing of the big major plants and the major pruning, prune things back. Think about lifting and dividing some of the perennial plants that you've inherited, and then start to think seriously about where you're going to put your favourite plants that you've cherished that care and attention, bringing them with you to your new home. So this area under the tree here, it's quite a good place to put a tree fern. It's worth assessing all the different parts of your garden, seeing where the sun comes up at different times, which bits are in full shade and which bits are in full sun, so that you can choose the right place for your plants. This is a good place for a tree fern. So I'm literally dug a hole that's large enough to accommodate that root ball. It's young at the moment, but it will soon get established and probably grow at about 3 to 4 inches, up to around 10 centimetres a year. Fill in with a little bit of extra compost around that root ball. Add a little bit more compost to the soil that you're going to refill the hole with. Don't put too much in, just to improve it a little bit so that this plant can establish quite quickly. And I'm just simply wiggling the plant around. Basic planting technique really. Filling in around the root ball. Standing up, giving it a quick firm in. Not too heavy footed. All the way round. Tidy up the soil a little bit and try and leave a shallow depression around the base of the plant that will catch the water and channel it down to the roots to help it re-establish. Now with this tree fern, I wouldn't add too much in the way of fertiliser or anything really much to the soil. The tree ferns resent having too much nutrition really, and they'll grow too soft. But with things like the pulmonaria, which we planted soon more or less as we got here from all those divisions that we brought with us, they've grown away really strongly, improving the soil with plenty of organic matter and a good handful of grow more. Really has boosted their growth. And if you're planting any time from spring through till the early autumn, they will establish really quickly all those divisions in one clump, because that's a good place to heel them in and bed them in and get them growing. From there, you can then transplant them around to where you want in other parts of the garden. But that really isn't looking back, that pulmonar, it's really well established. So things that we've transplanted from the other garden and just had healed in, we've just lifted this camellia earlier. This camellia really, you need to make sure that you're planting things like this in the same sorts of soil, because the soil in your last garden where this might have thrived might have been acidic, and the soil in your new garden might be alkaline, and clearly you've just got to check that the shrubs will grow in those new soil conditions. But it's worth giving this a quick trim around the roots. So here we've got lots of roots that are possibly a little bit damaged as well. Trim those roots up a little before you plant. Just cutting off any damaged pieces or any really wayward pieces. Then you can offer it up into a hole. This is a hole that I've just dug, about the right depth to accommodate that root system. And I've mixed the soil here that I've dug out with some really good homemade garden compost or bagged compost. Mix those two together when you fill in around the root ball. It's also worth adding a little bit of grow more or a multi-purpose fertiliser to the soil. Sprinkle a little bit of that around. Probably about half a handful will do. That, as long as you don't put it on too late in the year, will help the plant grow away. Or you might choose to add a slow release fertiliser granule, which will release the nutrients very, very slowly over the course of up to a year and help the plant to establish. But probably most important of all in my mind is to add these granules. This is a mycorrhizal fungal preparation that can be just dusted round in contact with the roots or simply patted onto that root ball. And these mycorrhiza will make an association with the roots of the plant and increase the surface area and make them establish more quickly. Other than that, all we've got to do is mix those two ingredients together, fill in the hole, fill in around the plant, nice and loosely to start with. Shake the plant a little bit to make sure it's in good contact with the soil. Firm it round gently with your hand, pull in a little bit more of that and finish off. Then all you need to do, give it a good water, and these plants will soon establish, and it won't take long before you've got a garden as good as the one you've just moved from.